Welcome to Show 128. Down in the Mexicali, there's a crazy little place that I know, where the chicks are hotter than the chili sauce, and the boss is a cat named Joe. He wears a red bandana, plays a blues piano in a honky-tonk down in Mexico. He wears a purple sash and a black mustache in a honky-tonk down in Mexico. The first time that I saw him, he was sitting on a piano stool. I said, "Tell me, Dad, when does the fun begin?" And he just winked his eye and said, "Man, be cool." He wears a red bandana, plays a blues piano, honky-tonk down in Mexico. He wears a purple sash and a black mustache in a honky-tonk down in Mexico. All of a sudden in walks a chick. She started dancing to that Latin kick. Around her waist she wore 2 fishnets. She started dancing with the castanets. I didn't know just what to expect. She threw her arms around my neck. We started dancing all around the floor, and then she did a dance I never saw before. So if you're ever south of the border, I mean down in Mexico, if you want to get straight in mind, don't hesitate. Just look up a cat named Joe. He wears a red bandana, plays a blues piano, honky-tonk down in Mexico. He wears a purple sash and a black mustache in a honky-tonk down in Mexico. Down in Mexico, baby. You get your kicks down in Mexico. Yeah. South of the border, baby. In Mexico. Come with me, baby. Down in Mexico. Yeah. Down in Mexico. Hi, folks. Want to see me walk back and forth? This is Show 128. Now you can see I'm getting over my sprained ankle. Yes, I was even dancing at a party, which I later regretted, but regret is free. You can take as much as you want. No one minds. The song is a Coasters song, which was actually a Robins song. Lieber and Stoller were out there on the West Coast, and they heard the Robins, and they wound up kind of cannibalizing it, taking half the group, finding half of another group, and putting them together and calling them the Coasters, West Coast. And they were fabulously successful, as you know. On the first Coasters album are a few recordings by the Robins. Anyway, this is nothing compared to some of the shenanigans that went on. The guy who managed the Drifters, early on, of course, I believe it was before Clyde McPhatter, I'm not sure. But they were doing a show, and the manager went and saw them play, and the opening group was better than his group. So he went up to them and he said, "You want to be the Drifters?" And they said yes. And so he just threw the other guys out and got all new Drifters. The Drifters were an interesting band in that sense. They had several, or should I say, serial lead singers, all of whom were great. Just great. After Clyde McPhatter was, what was it? Ray Moore. Joe Moore? I can't remember his name, but it was Moore. And then there was Benny King. They were great. And their stuff was great. And Leiber and Stoller were great. Down in Mexico, and Smokey Joe's Cafe is terrific too. What Do You Want is a good early Coasters song. May even have been a Robbins song. I'm not sure. What Do You Want? Okay. That's about it. And what we have for you is a Dee Clark song that was a hit in 1962, written by Henry Booth. Henry Booth was one of Hank Ballard's Midnighters. Yes, Hank Ballard, you may not know him either. Mostly now he's famous for Finger Poppin' Time. He also did Let's Go, Let's Go, Let's Go. It's, there's a thrill upon the hill. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Basically, it's just a house where everybody gets drunk and fools around. It's a great song. And The Twist. Yes, Hank Ballard wrote and did first The Twist. Dick Clark thought it was a great idea. He commandeered a fellow, and Dick Clark's wife said, "Well, reminds me of Fats Domino. Why don't we call him Chubby Checker?" Dick Clark said, "Yeah." And the guy said, "Yeah." He had been working in a meat factory, so to speak, and was glad to get out. And who could blame him? Anyway, Dee Clark did Your Friends, and he's more famous for a few other songs, Raindrops. Anyway, love the picture on his first album. It's great. Some people had great stance on their first album. You can see they're in the studio and they just have a stance, and it's great. Bo Diddley had one like that. Dee Clark had one like that. Gary U.S. Bonds has 3 like that. Well, it's a triptych. And a couple other people. Let's see. Oh, Ronnie Hawkins. Anyway, I wish that was produced better. Ronnie Hawkins had a great band, and his record sounds crappy. So I got it on eBay and I sold it on eBay. I had it originally, but many of my records disappeared. Some were stolen. I hate that. Thieves. Say, you know why a thief never laughs at a pun? Because they take things literally. Friends, all of your friends, all of your friends, all of your friends. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to shake your hand. Everybody wants to see you again. Well, at your back. But when you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. Oh, but when you're down and out, there's not a friend in this world to help you out. But when you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. They told you they would stand by you and never let you down. But when you started sinking low, there wasn't one of those friends to be found. When your ship comes in, surprise all of your so-called friends. Give them a helping hand. Show them that you're a bigger man. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. When you get on your feet again, everybody wants to be your friend. Your friends, all of your friends, all of your friends, all of your friends, all of your friends, your friends, your friends, your friends. Junior Walker and the All-Stars. Probably the only song you know by them is Shotgun. Shoot him before he runs now. But this is, well, I dedicate this to the, I'm wearing this shirt, and I'll get a close-up of it in. And then, good. Okay. Cool Jerks. And there's ice dripping off the words. And then it says, a legend in their spare time. And that's what we were. We had our little cult. Our little gang of friends. Yeah, it was good. It was great being in the Cool Jerks. The things I do for you. You ought to know by now that I'm a fool for you. By the way that I work, bring my money home to you. And I don't think no other man is gonna ever do the things I do for you. Go to work in the morning, work hard all day, come home in the evening, you got nothing but bad words to say. I don't think no other man gonna ever do the things I do for you. days a week. You think that I'm your fool. You treat me so bad, and I ain't cool. You know that old folks say, and I ain't no lie, you don't never miss your water till your well run dry. And I don't think no other man gonna ever do the things I do for you. I'll do for you. I have for you a reading. I will go closer to the camera so you can see the cover of this wonderful 70s edition of Raymond Chandler novel. This is the second chapter. I mean, you're not going to hear the whole novel, so I just want to show you some of Raymond Chandler's style. Not in a little quote, but in a couple pages from one of his novels. Boy, oh boy. I mean, I have the greatest respect for Raymond Chandler. Really. Okay. Number 2, chapter 2. He gets invited into the guy's office. The first chapter is about him sitting in the waiting room. Okay. The private office was everything a private office should be. It was long and dim and quiet and air-conditioned, and its windows were shut, and its gray Venetian blinds half closed to keep out the July glare. Gray drapes matched the gray carpeting. There was a large black and silver safe in the corner, and a long row of low filing cases that exactly matched it. On the wall there was a huge tinted photograph of an elderly party with a chiseled beak and whiskers and a wing collar. The Adam's apple that edged through his wing collar looked harder than most people's chins. The plate underneath the photograph read, Mr. Matthew Gillerlane, 1860 to 1934. This is a perfume company. Darris Kingsley marched briskly behind about $800 worth of executive desk and planted his backside in a tall leather chair. He reached himself a Panatella out of a copper and mahogany box and trimmed it and lit it with a fat copper desk lighter. He took his time about it. It didn't matter about my time. When he had finished this, he leaned back and blew a little smoke and said, I'm a businessman. I don't fool around. You're a licensed detective, your card says. Show me something to prove it. I got my wallet out and handed him things to prove it. He looked at them and threw them back across the desk. The celluloid holder with the photostat license in it fell to the floor. He didn't bother to apologize. I don't know McGee, he said. I know Sheriff Peterson. I asked for the name of a reliable man to do a job. I suppose you are the man. McGee is in the Hollywood substation of the sheriff's office, I said. You can check on that. Not necessary. I guess you might do, but don't get flip with me. And remember, when I hire a man, he's my man. He does exactly what I tell him and he keeps his mouth shut, or he goes out fast. Is that clear? I hope I'm not too tough for you. Why not leave that an open question? I said. He frowned. He said sharply, what do you charge? $25 a day and expenses. 8 cents a mile for my car. Absurd, he said. Far too much. 15 a day flat. That's plenty. I'll pay the mileage within reason the way things are now, but no joyriding. I blew a little gray cloud of cigarette smoke and fanned it with my hand. I said nothing. He seemed a little surprised that I said nothing. He leaned over the desk and pointed with his cigar. I haven't hired you yet, he said, but if I do, the job is absolutely confidential. No talking it over with your cop friends. Is that understood? Just what do you want done, Mr. Kingsley? What do you care? You do all kinds of detective work, don't you? Not all kinds. only the fairly honest kinds. He stared at me level-eyed, his jaws tight. His gray eyes had an opaque look. For one thing, I don't do divorce business, I said, and I get 100 down as a retainer from strangers. Well, well, he said in a voice suddenly soft. Well, well. And as for your being too tough for me, I said, most of the clients start out either by weeping down my shirt or bawling me out to show who's boss. But usually they end up very reasonable, if they're still alive. Well, well, he said again, in the same soft voice, and went on staring at me. Do you lose very many of them? He asked. Not if they treat me right, I said. Have a cigar, he said. I took a cigar and put it in my pocket. I want you to find my wife, he said. She's been missing for a month. Okay, I said. I'll find your wife. He patted his desk with both hands. He stared at me solidly. I think you will at that, he said. Then he grinned. I haven't been called down like that in 4 years, he said. I didn't say anything. Damn it all, he said. I liked it. I liked it fine. He ran a hand through his thick dark hair. She's been gone a whole month, he said, from a cabin we have in the mountains near Puma Point. Do you know Puma Point? I said, I knew Puma Point. Boy, it's hot out. It's so hot out that even in an air-conditioned studio, which is admittedly not very cool, my glasses are slipping. I think I need to get my glasses tightened. I need a lot of things tightened, I think. And several things loosened. But maybe my clothes need tightening. You know, my clothes are getting voluminous. I don't know. The guy who bought all these clothes weighed 15 pounds more. What can I tell you? Well, folks, it's about time to wrap things up. I hope that everything is good for you. I hope you are having a nice August or September or October or whenever you are seeing this. I don't know. I don't know when you'll be seeing this. But I hope you have a fine time, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope you're enjoying your life. Now, my life for a number of years, okay, not a large number, for several years it felt like I was falling. I was falling. And then it was as if the parachute opened. And it was wonderful. May you all have the same experience, or the same type of experience, or something relating in some way to something uplifting and like stuff like that there. Well, I'm not as eloquent as Chandler, am I? Okay. Next week, we're going to have show 129 for you. As I mentioned last time, I'm trying to convert a tape from 1993 of my band playing, Johnny Vermont, several bands ago. And I got one estimate for converting the tape to a DVD. $45. Maybe that's the only price that'll make it worth it for him. I can't pay that, though. I am now going to try the second place. And with any luck, they'll underbid him real good. I'm selling things on eBay. eBay has become a jungle. People who have held on to their wonderful stuff, their collectibles, they're desperate now. They're all selling them. Things you couldn't even find one of, now you find 20 of. And some of the people have no idea that it's worth a couple $100, so they say, $7? And someone will buy it for $7, and all the other people who know what it's worth and are trying to get what it's worth are screwed, so to speak. I don't know, is getting screwed language that some people don't like? It's so mild for me, a former New Yorker, but perhaps it's not so mild for other people. May I never offend anyone, good luck. And may you all never be offended. And may you never offend anyone else. Well, I'm going to approach the camera as we approach the end. Why am I wiggling my head? Because I'm trying to see in the monitor and it's not on the camera. It is down there. Wow, giant white spot on my nose. Very interesting. It's because of the lights. My glasses turn white. The lights. The light. Go into the light. Go into the light. The light. It's the light. I guess it's light even for people who are going to end up in hell, huh? They go towards the light and then they say, no, you're not coming up here. You're going the other way. I don't know. I really wonder about all that stuff. But it seems so much like a human construct. Could there really be heaven and earth and hell? I don't know. Reincarnation's interesting, but who knows? Basically, this life is this life, and you have to live it, and then it's gone. So, have a good life, and we'll see you next week. If we live, we will. Yep. Nothing but a mouth is moving. Bye, folks. We'll be seeing you. All the other shows on this channel will seem to make more sense. Bye. Ears to you. Didn't run out, huh?